3, 4. So you know I'm gonna teach you something right quick. Now, James Brown said everything can start on the 1. On the 1, like this. Oh, 1, 1, 1, 1. Everything on the 1, right? So when everything starts on the 1, you can start any way you want to start the song. You know?
She teaching y'all.
What gave me the freedom? Well, I'm over troubled waters, and I'm glad. Well, I've crossed the dangerous bridges that was so bad. I've got a new song that I can sing. I can listen to joy bells ring when I'm yeah, everybody in here drunk. So if one person drunk, we all drunk. Is everybody drunk?
I'm not drunk.
Number 1. So today, we want to. This day where we are in Dallas, Texas, and this came together real quick. My band just showed up, and I appreciate him. And I appreciate you for having us. We're gonna do it like this. We'll start just like this. We're not gonna waste no time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Time's a wasted. Don't you take your time away. Keep on drifting, and not telling where you're Run, baby, run. When you're running to, and who you running from. Some people may not understand what it means to be a man. See, taking full command. Now, so living in a world that's so strange. What don't let you focus change. Taking out the demons in your brain. Do. Hey, hey. Living in a world that's so fast. Gotta make your money last. Learn from your past. Time's wasted. Don't want you to take your time.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Keep on drifting, and not telling where you're led. Y'all know the verse too? Yeah. Look. Sweet dreams and sunshine. If it's all in the air, then it's all on your mind. Oh, breathe, baby.
done already won, y'all.
The minute you thought of your idea, that's when you won.
What she said. I wish I could play the entire performance because you know I love me some Erykah. I think many of you who are watching right now know I love Erykah. Peace and blessings. Incredible humans. Peace and blessings. Remarkable humans. Yes, I am still here in the flesh. Just got my Paris Hilton / Christina Aguilera class / Mandy Moore / Britney Spears / Lance Bass going on over here. Yes, I am a blondie right now. It is really working. I didn't think that the shirt, I forgot that the shirt had yellow writing on it. So, of course, the yellow writing on the shirt is going to bring out the hair. But peace and blessings, remarkable humans. Yes. You are here for another installment of Your Mental Health Matters, Staying Mentally Aware, Season 2, Episode 10. This is the 10th episode of Season 2 of Your Mental Health Matters. All I'm doing is just picking up where I left off. It's not me starting over. It's just me moving forward. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're moving forward. So with that said, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your very melanated, very educated, and also animated host by the name of DeAndre Morris Jr. I am back in the flesh. Once we get to the wellness check segment, I'll talk to you all. But yes, there is a difference in the picture on my screen versus the picture on your screen. Yes, I am sporting the blonde. You better hope I don't come back next week with a bang or a bang. It's my kudos to this incense, by the way. Yes, that was a cough. Kudos to this incense, by the way, that I lit. I was in my Erykah Badu mode. She lit an incense on her performance, so I had to match her energy and light an incense as well. But yes, I am here. Dre. How you doing? Let me stop doing that before Wendy send me a fine. Send me a ticket in the mail. But yes, we're here. It's another Friday in YouTube land. I'm here. Now, the last episode we left off, it was still summertime. Summer is over. The first day of fall was September 22nd. Today is October 4th. Summer is over. Insert sad face here. I'm very sad about that. But here in Minneapolis, we've been having an Indian summer, which has been good for my mental because I love sunny days. It doesn't matter if it's fall. Winter, I'm in the house. That's another story. But fall, if it's nice, very nice day, and the sun is shining, and it hits my melanin perfectly, what's a sunny day? I'm happy because I'm back for another episode. Like I said, as we move forward and we get to the mental health segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happened in the last month. But yes, I had to take that month off. For those of you who have been avid followers of mine on YouTube, I really appreciate you all for your patience and understanding. But I really did need to take a month off. And I'll get more into that as the episode progresses. Side note, I took all that time off. I still don't have no production team. I'm sitting over here still adjusting my camera and the lighting and typing up show notes and getting everything together. if I could just get a cute little check where I can afford a team over here to pull my little situation together, that would be great. I would love that. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to come to you on this mental health broadcast the best way I know how. Looking as good as ever, very demure, very mindful. Yes, we are still saying that. I'm mad that I did have to take time away from you all because every week when I'm sitting in front of you, in front of this camera and talking to you all, or people who end up coming across my episodes at a later date, I don't like being away from you all. I don't. That really makes me sad that I had to take time away. However, self-care is very essential. I'm always saying that to you all every week. And not only do I care about your mental health, my mental health matters as well. So if I needed some self-care time, I'll talk about my self-care time. But before we move forward, let me remind you all that I am on YouTube and no more Facebook. However, if you type in my name, DeAndre F. Morris, I should be able to pop up on Facebook, and you can see season 1 of Your Mental Health Matters, Staying Mentally Aware. I do have 15 episodes recorded and saved. You should be able to bring them up, but this is where season 2 starts. It's here on YouTube. So far, so good. Even though we've lost, I'm saying we because I am a part of the YouTube community now. Even though the YouTube community has lost its CEO and someone else has been vied into the position, I have not had no issues. I did, however, have a technological issue earlier, and it was going to force me to reschedule today's episode to tomorrow, but God, I was able to figure out the technological issue, and we moved past that. Like I said, we're not going back. We're moving forward. So with that all said, please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is PHOCALPOINT numeral 2. That's Focal Point 2 at Focal Point 2. Or just simply type in my name, DeAndre Morris Jr. on YouTube in your search bar. I should be able to pop up. The banner that pops up should read Your Mental Health Matters, Staying Mentally Aware. When that pops up, you know that you found me. But for those tech nerds out there who know how to type in the handle, it is at PHOCALPOINT numeral 2. That is Focal Point 2, or just simply type in my name, DeAndre Morris Jr. I should pop up. In addition to that, I do have a new email address that I need everybody to use. My old email address, yourmentalhealthmatter@gmail.com, is no longer in use. However, there are some emails on there that I will be responding to once I regroup and refresh and I get, because I'm just now coming back after a month. But like I said, we'll get into that. But YMHMSMA, which stands for Your Mental Health Matters, Staying Mentally Aware at gmail.com. Again, that is YMHMSMA@gmail.com. It is written on your screen. It is written on my screen that is projecting on your screen. Please do not forget to send me your positive feedback, your affirmations, your positive energy, your chakras, a hug, a kiss, whatever. Send me your positivity through the email. As I always state, there is no hate mail tolerated, especially now within this climate. I'm really demanding no hate mail be sent to me. Not a text message, not a FaceTime chat if you have my number, not an email. I don't want no negative energy being put into my atmosphere right now. Once we get to the wellness check segment, you'll know why. But I'm very adamant about protecting my peace by any means necessary, which means filtering out all of the negative energy, filtering out all of the drama, all of the dramatics. I don't have the patience for it right now. This is a mental health podcast, so we are here to talk, but we are here to talk, not to lash out, not to project negative energy, not to project. We're not here for that. We are here as a supportive community to support one another and uphold one another. So again, find me on your YouTube, down to the YouTube. It is Focal Point 2, at Focal Point 2. And send me emails, your positivity, or letters that you want to have read over the live feed, over the broadcast. Send them to ymhmsma@gmail.com. I will say that I have not received any emails in the month that I took off. However, I received an outpouring of FaceTime calls, text messages, emails, like work emails. People have really reached out to me and they have been concerned about me. They've been calling, phone calls, whatever. People have really been connecting with me, and that lets me know how serious your mental health matters, staying mentally aware, is for the people that watch my broadcast. The people who were not seeing me for the month that they were not seeing me were actually calling me. That reminded me and made me realize how significant I am to certain people. And it made me feel good. It made me realize that I really do need to come back to the YouTube and get back to my broadcasting because people miss me. So for those of you who either FaceTime me, gave me a phone call, sent me a work email, saw me in public, and was concerned about me, even my church members were concerned about me, I really, genuinely, wholeheartedly appreciate you. You do not know how much it means to me to know that people find me significant in their lives with the climate. With how the climate is right now, I didn't think that I was loved by anybody, not even family. But there were certain individuals that have reached out to me when I disappeared for the few weeks that I had to go away and take care of self. They was like, we ain't having it. We need to make sure that we're doing a wellness check on DeAndre. We need to make sure, because some people do know that I live alone. Some people do know that it is hard, like it is a struggle to be independent, and they know how to check on their strong friends. A lot of people see me as strong. Strong people get weak too. So for those of you who seriously took the time to reach out to me when I was away, thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate you. Continue being you. Continue being a kind human. Continue projecting humanity. Continue being the change that people want to see in the world right now. Because right now, the world is in chaos. The world is in turmoil. There's not enough empathy. There's not enough positive energy. So it really means the world to me to know that I am significant to people in their lives. It really, I'm serious about that. Wellness check segment. Now, this is a segment that I've been anxious to get to because it's a lot I need to talk about, but I'm going to not be as verbose. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible so I could keep your attention. But where are we right now? It has been a month since I've been here with you. Where are you? Are you feeling really good today? Are you feeling anxious? Are you having a really rough time? Do you need to reach out for support, or you don't know how to feel? Put in the comment section the emoji that corresponds with how you are feeling right now within the mental wellness check segment. So I have my box of Kleenex right to my left. So I'm going to try to get through this wellness check segment talking about me, because usually I check on you, because if this is a mental wellness broadcast, mental health matters. Not only am I having an inclusive conversation with everybody who's watching this, I'm including you in this dialogue of mental health. But we also have to talk about me as well because my mental health matters as well. But I'm going to try to keep my composure and not reach for a Kleenex while I talk because I must say that the month that I have been away from you all, it has been rough. It has been a struggle. Currently, I'm still struggling. I was on the phone with my grandmother earlier. I was video chatting with my grandmother. Kudos to you, Nana. I love you if you're watching. And we were video chatting earlier, and she just made the comment, good thing you don't look like what you're going through. And I be damned if I'm going to sit before you on camera and look like a mess or look like I'm struggling. Yes, I am struggling. Yes, it is a challenge for me right now, but that doesn't mean I have to get up and look like a struggle. I don't have to look like I was just picking cotton out in the cotton field for 16 hours. Like, I don't have to look like that. I don't have to look like I'm running from massa. I don't have to look like that. I'm going to always keep myself pulled together and presentable, even though on the inside, I feel like shit. I'm sorry for the language, but I do. I feel so. The month that I had to take off, there was an episode that I had to do, that I was going to do on September 6th. My brain was a little bit of everywhere because I was thinking about the fall and everything. I'm not going to say that my anxiety was creeping in, but it was that seasonal, it's September, Labor Day is over, it's time to get back to a groove, like a groove. You know, summer is practically winding down. It was the solstice. It was the change of the climate. It was the change of the solstice. And my brain was all over the place that day. So I didn't do an episode on September 6th, and I wasn't feeling well. September 9th, I got my brand new plates in the mail because here in Minnesota, every 7 years, they make you get brand new license plates for your car. I don't really know, because Missouri, that's not a rule, that's not a law, but whatever. So I have been here 8 years. The first year I was here, I did have my Missouri plates, because you all know I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. So I had my Missouri plates on, and after that first year, I got my plates. I got personalized plates. So yes, it has been 7 years. My plates came in the mailbox literally on September 9th. September 10th was the last day I drove my vehicle. So luckily, I still have a temp tag on it, but I haven't been driving a vehicle since September 10th. Meanwhile, today is October 4th. So I've been without a car all this time. The whole month of September, starting from the 10th till now, I've been without a vehicle. So I've been just not panicking, but just flustered about how am I going to get it fixed. Then I still have to get to work on the days that I got to go in the office, and I still got to do this and this and this. So I seriously had an emotional breakdown. I literally was sitting at my computer because I did want to do, I was at the computer sitting and trying to prepare my notes on September 13th, which was a Friday. It probably was not a good day for me to try to prepare show notes on Friday the 13th because my brain wouldn't allow me to. I was literally sitting at the computer like, I can't even focus. I can't even sit and type my notes out for today. So that's when I turned around and made the decision to let you all know via a YouTube short via a YouTube short / commercial that I was not going to be doing an episode in September. I just needed to take the rest of the month off. My brain was not thinking. I needed to recharge. I needed to regroup. I needed to reconvene myself because I was scattered like a puzzle all over the place, just puzzle pieces all over the place. I needed to put myself back together, and I needed to take a month off. I know A month is a long time when it comes to broadcasts like this. But when we're talking mental health, I needed my self-care. I needed to take care of self. I needed to figure out what was I going to do with my car? How was I going to get to the grocery store? What is my work schedule looking like? It was just a lot. It was a domino effect of things that I just needed to deal with on my own. And I didn't really want to be dealing with this domino effect of things in the month of September and still have to produce a show every Friday. So I said, the month of September, let me take a hiatus. Abbott Elementary does it, so I can do it too. I'll come back when I'm refreshed and recharged. I'm here with Christina Aguilera hair, a Guy Fieri beard. I'm here. I want to do an episode. I almost canceled today because of the digital little technological issue that I had earlier. I said, I'm going to figure this out because I'm going to do an episode today. It's been a month. I need to do an episode today. I can't be gone too long. So here I am, still struggling, still going through a challenging time, but in my James Cleveland voice, I won't complain. I would not complain about that's the song I should have played before today's episode. I Won't Complain by James Cleveland. I might play it next week because I won't. You know, I can sit and complain from the sun up to the sun down, but who's listening? And all the complaining that I'm doing, nothing's going to get accomplished. So I would not complain about my life. It could be much worse. I'm still here above the dirt and not 6 feet under it. So I really can't complain. I could just give God all the glory for keeping me alive and just keeping my head above water through such a troubling time right now. Like I said earlier, this world is in turmoil. This world is chaotic right now. And it's even hard for me to say hello to certain people. It's certain family members in my family, on both sides of the family, that I don't even know how to speak to. I don't know what I can and cannot say to certain people. Friends, family, and loved ones are going haywire. I don't know if I can joke with this person or if I could be serious with this person or what do I say? How do I say it? I haven't been talking to nobody. The entire month of September, I've not talked to nobody. I don't know who I can pick up the phone and call. I don't know who I can pick up the phone and FaceTime. I don't know what I can say or do. But what I can say and do and what I can control is the narrative on this. If I'm here on my YouTube channel and I'm talking to the people who want to listen to me speak and listen to mental health topics and mental health aspects, this is what I can control. I can't control who's going to pick up the phone for me or who's going to text me back. If I text them at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday, are they going to text me back before the day is over? I can't control none of that. But like I said, what I can control is this. So even if it comes to a point where I have to start blocking people on my YouTube channel who are negative, I will start doing that because I cannot listen, you all, to everybody who's watching this episode right now. And my eyes are closed for real reason because I'm really trying not to, but I am tired. I am tired. I am exhausted with people. I don't know how to speak to folks. I don't know what to say to folks. I don't know how to interact. I'm just tired of people. I'm tired of people and their negative energy. I'm tired of people on social media with projecting on social media and not projecting face to face. I'm just sick of it, you know. And people blaming the political climate of today on their daily mood, which we'll get to in today's episode, because I'm getting tired of that as well. Like, people are just exhausting right now. And I don't really know what else I can do but turn to YouTube every week and just do my show, do my episode every week because you all are listening. At least after I record this episode, some of you are watching live right now. Some of you will catch this episode on another day when it's uploaded to my channel. But at least you're watching. And I'm not forcing you all to watch my episode. I'm not grabbing you all and saying, you better watch Your Mental Health Matters or else. It's not like that. My viewership and my audience has been built from when I first started it years ago till now. I still have my same following. I'm not forcing you all in this dialogue like I feel when I'm on the phone with certain people. I feel like I'm forcing a conversation out of certain people over the phone. I'm forcing a conversation on text messages. I'm forcing a conversation on FaceTime. It seems like it's a lot of forced conversations being had, and that's another reason for my exhaustion. I'm just exhausted about my car. Then I'm venting now. My lights were turned off today. It took over an hour for them to come back on. I'm just over it. And I think the technological issue that I had today is because my lights were turned off. Was it yesterday or was it today? What's that, the 4th? It was yesterday when the lights were turned off. And I'm like, I can't win for losing. It's like one thing after another, after another, after another. As you can see, I am in the lights because I am in my own house. So I do have electric, thank God. And a bigger thank you, God, that the lights didn't go off when I was live with you all, because that would have been a conversation. I'm going live, and then 10 minutes later, the whole thing just goes off. Then all y'all be joking about me not having no lights and not paying the bill. You see, I'm just exhausted with folks. But thank God we're here. Thank God we're together. I thank God for my brain. I thank God that He has enabled me to be able to produce a broadcast like this, to talk to you all and have dialogue with you all. I thank God for everything. I thank God for the little things. I thank God for my blonde hair. I just thank Him. I do. And that's a serious no. And as I always want you to do, I want you to chat with me. Put in the comment section how you're feeling. I know that was a mouthful for me, but when you're gone for a month, a lot can happen, and a lot has happened in a month. But it's good to be able to go through certain situations, learn from them, in my Tyra Banks voice, and move forward. That's the theme for the rest of the year. We're not going back. We're moving forward. Even in your daily life, even in your life skills, even in things that are going on. Yes, there's a lot of turmoil, but we're not going back. We're moving forward. Learn from your mistakes and make sure that your mistakes don't become habits. Because there is a difference. Learn from your mistakes. Move forward. I had a month full of things happen. I'm moving forward. I want to vent to you, and now I want to move on. And I pray that I could figure out certain things and certain pieces in my life because I want to feel whole again. I don't really feel as whole as I used to. So just keep me lifted. You know, this is the time now that I could be receiving emails from you all, ymhmsma@gmail.com. It would be nice to receive a few emails of encouragement from you all, because it's a struggle. I don't get on here often and talk about my struggles because I like to live a private life and keep all of my private life private so it won't become gossip in the streets with certain people. Yeah, I roll my eyes because certain people have been gossiping, and that's exhausting too. But that's another conversation for another day. But thank God we're here. Thank God that I can go through what I go through and just move around. Thank God for you who want to sit and listen to my blonde hair. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. Meanwhile, oh yes, I'm glad that I got my show notes here on my lap. Meanwhile, I got 26 more days until my birthday. So the month of September would be what it was. And then here comes October, my birthday month, which I celebrate from the 1st all the way to Halloween anyway. So 26 more days is my birthday. And I'm praying for a great birthday celebration. As the weeks tick on, I will reveal what I'll be doing. But this is my birthday month. So I'm praying for good health. I'm praying for increased wealth. And I'm praying for many more years to come. And it's not even my birthday yet. But I'm just praying. I'm praying for many more years to come. I'm praying for my right mind. I'm praying that my brain cells continue to work. I'm just going to continue to stay prayerful. This is my 40th year on earth. My 40th birthday will be October 30th. And I'm thankful that I'm able to wake up at the end of this month and see 40. See, I want to rewind the clock. But I'm turning 40, but look how I look. No, I do not look like what I've been through. And I'm about to be 40 and fabulous. You see that? I need to take a sip of my non-alcoholic beverage. Kudos to Snapple. Because I love me a cute Snapple. I'll make sure I add you to the hashtag Snapple. No, they're not a sponsor. I'm just doing a small commercial. I love me a Snapple apple. Speaking of birthdays, I want to wish my uncle a happy birthday because today is actually his birthday. October 4th, because I don't. Happy birthday. Because I done forgot the year. I know your birthday's October 4th. So, to my Uncle Mark, I just wish you a happy birthday. And I'm wishing that God continues to take care of you. God continues to keep you lifted. And most importantly, God blesses you with many, many more years to come. So, happy birthday, Uncle Mark. I know you're doing what you want to do. Whatever you're choosing to do on this day, please be safe. That's all I say to you. Yes, this is me. A Flashback Friday photo. This is me. I'm telling y'all, I came out the womb clean. You see, I'm looking like a junior pastor right here. And this is my Uncle Mark. This was back in the 80s. You see how clean the 80s was? Super clean. So yes, of course, I do want to talk about the debate. I do want to talk about what took place just briefly. I'm not going to spend too much time because not only is this a mental health podcast, but this is a political podcast too. Lately, I've been discussing a lot of political things, and I have chosen my political position. As you can see, I'm very public about my political position. And before I get into the presidential debate, the vice presidential debate that took place this past Tuesday, I love my grandmother so much. Me and my grandmother had a conversation last Tuesday, and Diddy came up. And I was literally going to talk about Diddy today until my grandmother told me not to. And the reason she said not to do it is because of my political position and that I am discussing some political things. Like I've been very vocal about my political position on my show, so it's just best to not discuss the Diddy situation. I told her that I was going to briefly talk about it, but I have not been discussing it yet. I was going to wait until my show to discuss it. She told me to wait until a court appearance happens, like a court case happens, because all of this is hearsay. All of this that's coming out, investigations are being done. It's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of he said, she said, and nothing has been brought to the court of law. So it's best that I do not say nothing as it pertains to Diddy. I'm not going to make any comments. I know he's been trending on all the social media platforms. I'm just going to keep my peace until further notice. He will be discussed, but thanks to my grandmother reminding me of me discussing political things on my show, just stay clear of topics that are very sensitive. Even though this is my platform and I do discuss topics that might get a ooh or ooh, I do want to stay away from the Diddy topic. So moving forward, I do want to briefly give my feedback on the vice presidential debate. Love me some Tim Walz. You all know I have been public about how I feel about Tim Walz. Several episodes on here, I've said that I've met him, how cool he is as a person, as an individual, as a politician. He does come off as that cool dad. Like, he gives the cool dad vibe, but he knows that he's a politician, and he knows that he has to mean business as the governor of our good Minnesota. But my only feedback about the vice presidential debate, I love Governor Tim Walz, but he needs to really work on his public speaking. You did get your point across. Every time you needed to make a point, you did make a point. Every time you had a rebuttal for the opposite team, the opposing team, you had your rebuttal. You were just kind of fumbling. And fumbling, you can lose your audience. If I was to get on Your Mental Health Matters, the platform that I'm doing, and I'm fumbling every Friday, you all would log off instantly. If I'm always fumbling, mumbling, stumbling over my words, and I'm not speaking loud and clear, you can barely hear me, you can barely understand me, you would all have been gone. I'm not saying that about Governor Walz. I'm just saying that he needs to work on because this is a very, very large platform that he's on. He's never been on a platform this large as a vice president nominee. I want my boy to work on the public speaking and his delivery. I do. He looked good. He had confidence. But work on that public delivery. As for the opposing team, he represented very well. Because I'm not going to be on here bashing nobody. If I'm going to say something about one side of the fence, I'm going to say something about the other side too. As far as the opposing team, J.D. Vance, Senator J.D. Vance, he was good. He represented the Republican side very well, in my opinion. He was very eloquent. You could tell that he's a pro at public speaking and he's a pro at debating. You could tell that that's his forte, that that's his niche. However, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth when I say too much political stuff, but we got to talk. I feel that J.D. Vance is being put on the stage as a spokesperson for the Republican Party. Because from what I've been hearing, a lot of the Republican Party is not for Donald Trump. Like, Trump has not really been getting a lot of feedback from his own party. So they needed a saving grace. They needed a cavalry on their party to step up and really make their party look good And Senator J.D. Vance did exactly that. So I will give credit where credit is due. But I really hope, I just looked over and realized something. I really hope that he's not being used as a puppet just to make the Republican Party look good. Because that's exactly what, and this is my personal feedback about the vice presidential debate. Both parties did very well, but both parties had their weaknesses, in my opinion. And I feel that whatever points had to be brought across, those points were brought across. J.D. Vance does have the same style of debating as Trump does. He debates just like the person that he's a running mate for. I'm serious. Like, that's my opinion. That's my perspective. I saw it. The same backtracking that Trump does, Vance does the same thing. That backtracking, they both do the same thing. When the moderators are trying to move forward with the next topic, they want to backtrack. Like, stop. We got to get, it's a lot of, they kept saying it over and over and over again at the vice presidential debate. We got a lot of topics to get through. They said that at least 5-6 times. We got a lot of topics to get through, guys. We got a lot of topics to get through, gentlemen. We can't keep with all this backtracking. Let's move forward. So both of them, they held their ground. I will say that. Do I personally think that this vice presidential debate has changed the minds of some people? No. I feel that a lot of absentee ballots have already been cast because mine has already been cast. I submitted my absentee ballot in on Tuesday, the 1st, the day of the presidential debate, the vice presidential. I keep on saying presidential. The vice presidential debate, the same day of the vice presidential debate is the same day I cast my ballot. So mine is already cast. I don't feel like neither debate has changed the minds of anybody. The presidential debate between Harris and Trump probably moved the ticker a little bit. The vice presidential debate between Walz and Vance really didn't. I mean, whoever people are voting for at this point, while we're 31 days away from Election Day, literally in 31 days, it's Election Day. So, with that said, I feel that everybody has made up their minds and they know who they're going for. If they're choosing to vote in November, they know who they're going to vote for in November. This vice presidential debate this past Tuesday didn't really move the ticker a little bit. I mean, if you're going to vote for them, you're voting for them. If you're voting for them, you're voting for them. So that's how I felt. There will be no more debates. Typically, in the presidential political season, we see more presidential debates and vice presidential debates. We're only going to see one from each. 31 more days is Election Day. Here we are. So that's my feedback on the vice presidential debate. Send me your feedback on how you felt. If you did watch the vice presidential debate this past Tuesday, email me ymhmsma@gmail.com. Let me know your feedback of the vice presidential debate. Did it change your mind on who you voting for? Did it not change your mind? Are you voting? Are you not voting? Did the vice presidential debate do something for you? Did you learn something? Email me. Let me know. We can discuss this on next episode. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the vice presidential debate. Because it was a very civil, very demure, very mindful, very let's shake hands, very let's square off respectfully. That's what it gave. So, kudos to Governor Walz and Senator Vance. And sorry if that seemed dry. I'm not trying to be dry about, election. It's just, like I just said, I cast my ballot already. I'm ready for election day to come on and roll in, and so we can, I don't know, a lot of people are kind of in a let's get it over with mood. A lot of people are, even my grandmother, because she's an absentee voter too. And I called her and was talking to her about her ballot. And she's like, yeah, let me open it and get it over with. A lot of people are in that let's get it over with mood. It's like, can November 5th get here any sooner? I'm like, let's go ahead and see our new president so we'll know how to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, this Snapple apple good. I promise you, I converted from my Beyonce tumbler to my clear tumbler so you all can see what I'm drinking. I will always tell the truth on whatever is in my bottle. Topic of the week. Being inspired and your mental health. I don't want to spend too much time on the topic because it may be a part 2 to this, who knows, but being inspired and your mental health. Where I got the idea for the topic of the week is when I went to the Keith Haring exhibit at the Walker Art. Kudos to the Walker Art Institute for displaying such a very ornate, very fabulous, very mindful exhibit of the late, great Keith Haring. Did not have a full perspective of this man until I went to see his artwork in live and in living color, like literally in living color. Because he uses colors in his artwork. And yes, I do love art museums and history museums. For those of you who know me well, you all know that. So I love me a good art museum. So I had to go see the Haring exhibit while it was here on display. And what an exhibit. I'm so glad that a friend of mine who I go to church with had 2 tickets. And she just decided to call me and say, hey, let's go see the Haring exhibit before it leaves the Walker Art. And I'm like, sure. Especially with this particular individual because I like her and she's a very dope artist herself and she exudes very great energy. So I didn't mind being around that type of energy at Walker Art for the Haring exhibit because we both appreciated the artwork. It wasn't like we were just walking around just to be walking around. We were literally there taking in the art. And I appreciate people like that in my life. But the name of the exhibit, this is Keith Haring here, and being inspired. He is the reason why this week's episode is titled what it is. Because his inspiration was through the roof. Like through the roof to the moon. And everything that I learned about this man during the exhibit just really opened my eyes and made me realize that I am just like him and I'm inspired to do this. This is my art. This is my platform. This is my niche. This right here on YouTube. This is what I do. So we're both artists. We're both creatives well, he was a creative until his passing. And I'm a creative in my own right. And I have to pull from certain gems and certain things to stay inspired. And the Keith Haring exhibit did it for me. So, a few tidbits about, well, I did have a question before I get to Keith Haring. And I need to look down at my show notes and follow them. But my question to you all, what inspires you in life? Put it in the chat. Put it in the comment section. Email it to me. What inspires you in life? What is it that wakes you up every day? What is it that gives you purpose in life? What inspires you? What wakes you up? What opens your eyes? What opens your mind? What opens you up? Let me know. Comment section or the email. What inspires you in life? Now that the question is out, let's move forward. Keith Haring, a few tidbits about Keith Haring that I had notated. He was born on May 4th, 1958 in Reading, Pennsylvania. I think it's Reading, Pennsylvania. Reading. Fact check me in the comment section if you can. Reading, Pennsylvania. 1958 seems like it's a long time ago. But you got to think about the era. You got to think about this era that I'm getting ready to talk about. He is an American artist and a civil activist. His father is a famous cartoonist who worked for a popular newspaper in their hometown in Pennsylvania. And Keith Haring just wanted to follow after his father's footsteps of being a cartoonist. But Haring wanted to expand outside of the cartoonist niche. Like, he wanted to be more artsy than just doing comic strips for a newspaper. And after he moved to New York in 1978 to pursue his love for being a cartoonist and an artist, he enrolled in SVA. I did have that notated. The School for Visual Arts, the School for Visual and Performing Arts in New York, that's SVA. That's what they call it. And he moved there after graduating from his school in Pittsburgh, moved to New York in 1978. He became famous for his unique graffiti-like pop art along the subway walls in New York. He's the one that did the babies and the hearts and the people with no faces, all in the 80s in the subways. He just took black paper, black construction paper, and put it over old ads in the subways and would chalk draw. He was known and famously beloved for his chalk art. He didn't use chalk on the sidewalk. He used chalk on black paper along the subways in New York. That's how he became famous. You all have seen his artwork everywhere. Even Gen Zers and Gen Alphas who do not know this man on this screen, who do not know this man that's on your screen, you've seen his artwork. I'm going to show you a few pieces, but you've seen his artwork. His artwork was a representation of how he felt about many social issues of the 80s, which include the battle to end apartheid, the drug crisis at that time, and most importantly, the AIDS epidemic, which is why I love him so much, because I've been very public about a lot of things, including my HIV status. I am HIV positive and undetectable, and I'm also educated and blackcinated, as you can see on my t-shirt. Email me or jump into the comment section if you want to know where I got this t-shirt from. I will send you the link. But because I stand for LGBTQ rights, HIV rights, the AIDS epidemic, like I'm the HIV guy out here teaching about HIV AIDS and how to protect yourself and my lived experiences as an HIV positive individual. I love me some Keith Haring. I rock with him. I'm here for it. I loved him before the exhibit, but after the exhibit, I walked out of the Walker Art Institute with tears in my eyes inspiration in my heart to just continue moving forward with my curation of my art. And Keith Haring lived as an openly gay artist, also choosing to live proudly while representing the hardships of the LGBTQ plus community at that time with his artwork. So there were a lot of hardships and a lot of, you think the LGBTQ community is going through turmoil and chaos now. Think about the 80s. Think about what the AIDS epidemic did in the 80s to a lot of LGBTQ people. Think about GRID. Think about this virus that was killing off people who were gay and they didn't have a name for it. Just think about the time that Keith Haring lived in the 80s up to his death, which he did die of AIDS-related complications. So a lot of his artwork was representative of the AIDS crisis, which it was a huge crisis in the 80s. It's under control now, but every now and then we do get news stories of an outbreak of HIV. We have an HIV outbreak. In the 8 years I've lived in Minnesota, in Minneapolis particularly, there have been 2 HIV outbreaks. So I don't know what they describe or what classifies as an HIV outbreak, but I read about 2 different ones in 2 different articles here in Minneapolis within the last 8 years of me living here. So AIDS and HIV is not gone. HIV is more tolerable and under control, but we do tend to see peaks and valleys as it comes to the HIV epidemic, which is still an epidemic in this world, you know. More than 32 million people are living with HIV right now. That's the current number of people. 32 million people in the world are living with HIV. Just put that into perspective. I love Keith Haring because he is a huge inspiration to me, being HIV positive and not knowing what the future may hold for my HIV care, because you do know if he gets into office, that eliminates all HIV care, that eliminates LGBTQ rights, the pills that I get through the Affordable Care Act that I'm receiving now, I would not be able to receive. So me thinking about Keith Haring and not only just his last days on earth, but just him as an artist and him as a creative, him as an inspiration, him as a mentor to a lot of children in the 80s, him as just this pioneer who wanted to speak out but didn't really have a voice, but he used his hands to speak out against things that he wanted to speak out about, you know. And this exhibit just gave me the inspiration to say, hey, I'm going to keep moving forward with what I'm doing. I know that I'm doing this right. I know that I might get in my head, like the month that I took off, I was in my head a lot about whether or not I want to continue the show. I always get in my head about this. It's the people around me. It's the environment right now. It's the climate right now. Does this climate really need another mental health broadcast? And the answer is yes, it does. It's because of people like Keith Haring, who has been a huge inspiration in my life ever since he was introduced to my life when I was in middle school to me going to see the exhibit last month at the Walker Art Institute. He has been a huge inspiration to a lot of things that I've been doing in my life, particularly as an HIV positive individual living in America. I speak out. The only difference is I'm not using my hands, I'm using my voice to speak out against things and representative of things that I stand for, just like Keith Haring did in all of his artwork, including the last piece that he did, which was unfinished in his last days on earth, living with AIDS. And it is representative of, I've started this, and even though it's unfinished, my legacy does continue even after my death. This is Keith Haring speaking. And me, that's what I aspire to be. I want to be a huge figure in media like the male Oprah Winfrey. I want people to know my name. I want people to know who I am. I want to never forget whose I am. I want to leave a legacy in the media arena before I pass away. I want people to know that I've been here, that I marked my territory, that I spoke against things that needed to be spoken against. I spoke up about things that needed to be discussed. I developed dialogue with you all that needed to be developed. I was here. I'm inspired to move forward because of people like Keith Haring and the artwork that he produced and the pop art shows that he did and the pop art shop that he had. I'm looking forward to what your Mental Health Matters, Stay Mentally Aware is going to bring. Mentally, I'm all over the place, but a creative mind is rarely tidy. I literally have that on my wall right now. A creative mind is rarely tidy. My brain is all over the place. Mentally, I'm all over the place. Mentally, I'm an emotional roller coaster in my Vivian Green voice. But I'm going to get there. My brain being all over the place means I could think about 3-4 different things at one time, but sometimes being overwhelmed can be mentally draining. And I don't want to be mentally drained in this work, especially when I'm working on making this a career. I don't ever want to become mentally drained in what I love to do. So the inspiration is there. The inspiration has reignited this flame that I have for the Your Mental Health broadcast, Your Mental Health Matters broadcast, and I'm inspired. I'm inspired to continue moving forward. And it's all thanks to this man here, Keith Haring. And it's good that he can be somebody that I can relate to, who is not only openly gay, but HIV positive. Even though he succumbed to AIDS in the early 90s, his legacy will still live on. So and I'm itching because my allergies are acting up again. But art is for everybody. That was the name of the exhibit at the Walker Art Institute. And kudos again to the Walker Art Institute for just having his work on display and just giving me that inspiration that I needed to continue. Yes, September was a bad month for me, but we're moving forward. Time moves on. Time gets better. I gotta remember to smile. As Erykah Badu said at the top of this episode, we've already won. We're already on the other side of the battle. So smile. Put a smile on your face. Art is for Everybody is the name of the exhibit. Some of the pieces, these are my personal pictures that I took. Some of the pieces that were there were amazing, amazing pieces. How he would sit up and just have the patience to just create such beautiful artwork. It says a lot. This piece right here says a lot. This piece right here, I believe, was created for Help Aid. It was like an AIDS action network that they were doing, and it's representative of all the people at the bottom. No, it's a world. It's like a heal the world. That's what it was. I had to turn around and look at the piece. It's a Heal the World Foundation that they did. It was like one of those, like Farm Aid, like Willie Nelson did with Farm Aid. It was like a Heal the World Foundation that they did in the 80s, like a We Are the World. And this is representative of that. Like, all the people at the bottom are dancing and rejoicing because the world is a better place with people in it. See, I get his artwork. It says a lot without saying much. Pieces like this, who I really wanted to get all of these pieces. Oh, kudos to Apple, because these pictures came out real well. But I really wanted to make sure that I highlighted this wall because this was his safe sex ads, the safe sex ads that he personally created, and the ads that he created for the AIDS crisis. I personally wanted to make sure that I took a picture of this and had this not only in my photo collection, but have it to where I could show to you all on the broadcast, just to let you know how significant and how impactful Keith Haring was in the 80s during the AIDS crisis. He made brochures and pop art that was attractive to people in the 80s to let them know, hey, there's sex education and AIDS education out there. His famous ignorance equals fear and silence equals death, fight AIDS, act up. Because he was a part of the Act Up. If most of you were familiar, I'm going to have a special World AIDS Day episode in December. I'll talk about Act Up on that episode. But yes, a lot of his artwork resonated with the community in the 80s. This was really Stop AIDS. It was some scissors cutting a snake here. The snake was representative of AIDS. A guide for teens. See, he had made a brochure, an AIDS brochure for teens. He was amazing when it came to the artwork for, he even drew a penis holding a condom and it with the word safe sex above it. I mean, how quintessential, how out of the box was this man? This man is amazing. I can't say enough about this man and his artwork and how impactful and how inspiring he is to a lot of people like myself. I did want to read this snippet before I move forward to the next segment, just to give you a highlight of Keith Haring and how important he was to the AIDS crisis in the 80s. Haring and the AIDS crisis. The outbreak of HIV/AIDS in the 1980s created three emergencies: a public health issue, a crisis of political inaction, and an increase in social stigma. As the disease spread, first among gay men and intravenous drug users, the U.S. government ignored a growing epidemic. Now, meanwhile, the person who was in office was Reagan. Ronald Reagan was in office. His whole political administration said, forget this HIV, this AIDS epidemic. We don't care. We're not doing anything. We're not coming to the front lines to help this problem. Even though it's a crisis that those people are going to deal with. That was the attitude from the government. Haring used his work to address the crisis. He supported the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, ACT UP, like I said, I'll talk about that next month, and other organizations by raising money and making art. Shortly after the artist's own AIDS diagnosis in 1988, he established the Keith Haring Foundation as an entity to steward his art and to fund AIDS education, research, and care. Through effective treatment for HIV/AIDS is though effective treatment for HIV/AIDS is now available, due in part to the efforts of many activists, including Haring, the AIDS crisis is not over. Access to prevention, treatment, and care remains uneven across local, national, and international contexts, and there is still no cure. So I don't care what you believe. Y'all hearing that what's the basketball player name? Magic Johnson was cured of AIDS. He had enough money to cure himself. There is no cure for AIDS. None at all. Even Magic Johnson is still taking pills. He came out in, was it the early 90s? When he came out, it is now 2004, and that man is a millionaire. That man is a multi-millionaire making buku money and taking care of himself by taking his pill once a day like I do. There is still no cure to AIDS, folks. It really isn't. So don't believe the hype. Moving on to my self-care management segment. So like I said in the earlier part of the episode, I did not like people using the political climate of today to control their control their daily moods. Every day they wake up with a chip on their shoulder, and it's, well, this political climate has really got these people messed up. No, it is not the political climate. People have been messed up way before 2024, way before COVID, 2024, COVID in 2020, and then today's political climate in 2024 has just heightened. It just increased this very chaotic mood, these mood swings and this negative energy. But we're not going to blame the presidential debate between Harris and Trump for your daily mood. We're not going to do that. That is my problem. People who are constantly using today's political climate to justify their daily mood. My solution to that, I'm going to start telling people to take more accountability for their actions. You need to take more accountability for your daily moods, your daily actions. If you need to seek therapy, I do have resources. But you not seeking therapy and just waking up with a chip on your shoulder every day and being negative for no reason, there is no justification for that. So I have been reminding people, let's not be inhumane here. Let's not lack humanity with the people in the community and the people that are around you. The person next to you is not responsible for your mood. And neither is the political climate. So let's not keep making that the narrative for your mood. Let's get control of that. We need more humanity in the world, people. We really do. Next episode is Friday, October 11th. I am going to be coming back to you at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Today, I was trying to deal with that technological issue. Plus, I came here at 8. I was supposed to be here at 7. I came an hour late because of the technological issue that I had, but I came. I did an episode today. I'm back talking to you all regularly every Friday. I cannot wait until the conversation gets better. But Friday, October 11th, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. That is the next episode here on YouTube. We are wrapping up, but before I go, today's closing gem is your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. As I've said in episodes prior to this one, all episodes are going to come full circle. I might discuss something at the top of the episode, but by the time I get to the end of the episode, everything is going to make sense. I said you need to take more accountability for your actions, your moods, your happiness. That's the closing gem of the week. Your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Heal. Whatever you need to do, whether that's come here and talk to me, or seek clinical therapy, or seek counseling, you are responsible for your healing. So please take accountability for your healing, and let's heal. Let's heal together, people. Let's heal together, humans. Let's become more human. And with that, thank you for joining me for another episode of Your Mental Health Matters, Staying Mentally Aware, where here we discuss mental health on a whole new level. I have been your very, very, very demure, very mindful host by the name of DeAndre Boyce Jr. And as I always conclude, protect your peace by any means necessary and do nothing without intention. Don't get out there and do stuff just because you want to do it. Have intention and purpose behind everything that you do. Until next week, I have been your illustrious host. Go out there and do something fun tonight. It's Friday. Go have fun tonight. I know I've been invited to a birthday party and I think I'm going to go. So, bye-bye.